Hello, welcome to Catholic Life, ordinary people with extraordinary faith. I'm Deacon Jodi. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about foster children, the programs, an old but new named organization that's there to help, and we'll get into a little bit as we dive in a little bit more, but we're talking about kids today primarily. So I'm talking to Amy LeJeune. Hi, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
And last time you were here, we were talking about what's now the Foster Village, but what was it called before?
So we originally started as the Foster Village, and then we've recently switched to the Family Village.
Family Village, that's right. I got them backwards.
Yeah.
It's just good that people move and change because it makes us stay on our toes.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you can still find us at TFV, so that has
right.
stayed the same.
That's right. That's right. So let's first start where we were last time, talking about foster parenting in general. So my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we do have families that are willing to accept children that are in a desperate situation. And I think last time we talked about sometimes these kids, parents are in bad situations.
A lot of times bio parents are struggling with homelessness, addiction, or sometimes incarceration. So those are probably the most often situations we see.
Right. And so then all of a sudden the kids need to be sent somewhere.
Yeah, they need a
place to
safe
go.
place to stay.
Right. So we have people that have volunteered to be foster parents, provide a foster home, and all of a sudden, if I remember, you schooled me on this last time. All of a sudden, they will get a call, sometimes unexpectedly, and say, "We have a child for you," and all of a sudden, they have to go from maybe no kids to a kid, and sometimes it's a young kid. They might not even have a car seat. They don't have a baby bed, or they just don't have stuff, and that's where y'all come in. Now, a few years ago, you started this organization.
We're going on our third year. Hard to believe it already.
So tell us a little bit about how it started in the context of what fostering is.
Yeah, so I'm a foster parent. That wasn't really anything that I was familiar with whenever I was growing up. But when me and my husband moved here, we had been married for 7 years, didn't have any children, had a bigger home now that we were in the Baton Rouge area, and heard that in Livingston Parish there was the most children in foster care in the entire state. And so we opened our home and took in some children, just like you said. We went from 0 children to 3 in a matter of 2 weeks. So it was a little crazy, but there are several foster parents in the area, but we always need more. For us, fostering, we see it as a ministry. You not only get to give children a safe place to stay, but you also get to be a part of the families that are struggling. And with the state, their main focus in foster care is to try to reunite families. So if you can imagine being a part of that celebration of reuniting a family and getting past the struggles of life that they're dealing with, it's a pleasure. It's such an opportunity. I've been able to be a part of one reunification, and it was just something so beautiful. I never would have thought a couple years earlier that I would be happy to say that. Unfortunately, that's not the case for all children. I saw y'all had a sign, National Adoption Month. I've had the privilege of being able to adopt 2 children from foster care, a 4-year-old and 3-year-old. So they came from tough situations. Unfortunately, they couldn't go back home. So we were able to give them a healthy, stable life now.
That's awesome. So if I remember from when we first met, you were telling me that y'all saw this need, and you have a friend that y'all jumped in and bit off a lot more than you could chew at first.
Yeah.
But now it's been almost 3 years, and bring us up to date.
It's been a wild ride. So my partner, Shayna Landry, and we actually met through a mutual friend, and she was like, "Hey, guys, y'all are collecting things and trying to help local children. Y'all should really meet and team up." And so called Shayna, and it ended up into a 3-hour phone call, and we met, and the next day we were like, let's put it on paper. And so we drew up exactly what we thought would be the greatest need, and it was a place where these children that have been through a traumatic event of loss could come and not only be given things to help their transition, but also be able to meet other children that have been through a similar circumstance and have a support. Realize that people in the community are there to support them and there to help them and encourage them. And so Shayna and I met with a local church, Judson Baptist Church, and they gracefully allowed us to use a little tiny house. If you pass in front of the campus, you'll see a little blue tiny house. Kind of looks like a playhouse for the kids. And there we have a free boutique for children in foster care, and now with the Family Village and the support of the community, we've been able to expand to other areas as well.
That's great. So you do provide the transition for the child?
Yes, so the state does provide a stipend that helps with a child, but sometimes whenever it's a circumstance where they need to be removed immediately, that child might be dropped off at your house with little to nothing until that caseworker can get around to be able to help you. So we've had children come in directly from being removed, and we've been able to reclothe them, give them shoes that they might not have, give the foster parent diapers, the necessities to get through that time until the state can come and help them to get settled in.
So I guess it's kind of like you have different roles to play. The one role is the immediate role when this traumatic event actually happens, and traumatic for all involved. The struggling parents that the kids are taken from, the kids, and then the new parents that the kids are taken to. So you have all this trauma going on, all this difficult time, and y'all have jumped in and provided some help for that.
Yeah, so basically we first started with what we knew, which was foster care. And after getting out and kind of getting our hands dirty, we learned that there was more. There was kinship. There were grandparents that were taking in their grandchildren, and siblings taking in their siblings. And so as time has gone by and we've grown, we've been able to branch out to not only providing items, but being able to host events. We have our Building Bridges event that we do. We've done Christmas parties and Valentine's parties and appreciation dinners for foster parents. The Building Bridges is probably the biggest event that we've had. It is where children come and they're able to interact with first responders. And so
that's good.
A lot of children that we see, they're afraid of first responders because they see that person as the person that they've been removed by and that has broken their family. But at the event, they get to meet them and see that they are helpers and they want to help and improve people's lives and be there for them.
That's great. That's good stuff. In the whole foster care universe, for want of another word, you mentioned, you just threw some stuff very quickly at me that I was not really prepared for, but I understand, and that is siblings taking on siblings, grandparents taking on grandkids and stuff like that. So I understand that very personally, very, very intimately, and I understand how a child can be left with a relative. Is it always formalized through the foster care system, or sometimes it's just informal, where a parent gets arrested and the kid goes to grandma?
So now with our Family Village, the new name, we're able to accept children that are not formally in the system. So what we do ask is that there be some type of referral. So have you heard of mandated reporters?
Absolutely.
So that's what we kind of depend on, that partnership with teachers, with firefighters, police officers. We want to build that bridge between them and the people that they serve as well. And so we'll get referrals from even doctors sometimes.
I was just going to say that. I just had a situation where a person called me and they owned a facility that takes care of some children, and one of the kids looked like something was wrong, and he wasn't, this person called me and said, I'm not really sure what to do. It just doesn't feel right, you know? And I said, well, you are a mandatory reporter at this point because of where he was placed in the system.
Yeah.
And you guide those to the right place to do the report, I guess, and that's what triggers the help.
So So we get calls also from pastors, priests, from different churches, and they'll tell us, a situation that they've seen, kind of like what you're describing, they've observed, and from there we're able to decide what would be the best help, either connecting them to resources. You can actually go on our website, and we've compiled whatever resources we know about locally that would be able to help other organizations or individuals. And then if it's a material need, then of course we'll try to set an appointment and have them come to TFE and be able to accommodate.
And we'll put that website on the screen so people can write it down and make sure they get it, along with the phone number and contact information. That way we don't have to try to remember all that stuff. Because if we say it, people will forget it anyway. If they can see it, they'll remember it. So that this kind of bridges the gap of unawareness, for want of another word, like people like me before you came last time. I knew of foster care. I knew of the state providing training or whatever, or certifying, but I didn't have any personal experience with the transition and how it happens and how it upsets and the emotional part till you and I met the first time. And now I have a whole different sense. So like when this guy called, I kind of knew what he was talking about, and knew kind of where to send him. So first responders, you get referrals. Do you, I guess this is just a broad general question, and we're almost to a break, and maybe it's not fair. I'll wait till after the break to throw out the broad general question. Let's finish this segment by just talking about what you need at this point. Throw it out, because some people at the break leave. So make a pitch.
Yeah, so what we need right now is baby formula and baby food. It's something that a lot of people have come to us during COVID with job loss and being at home. So that's one of the things that automatically comes to mind. But new and gently used items are also very welcome. We also started doing birthday boxes, so that's something that people can do from home.
Oh, that's cool.
We used to do birthday parties where the kids would come, and we'd have over 25 children and celebrate their birthdays together. With COVID, that's kind of changed. So now we're asking people to be able to create a box with cake mix, with decorations, and it can be, you spent $10 at the dollar store, but that would be able to decorate a kitchen and be able to give the foster parent an opportunity to bake a cake and make that child's day special.
That's awesome. Okay, so we are going to take a break, and then on the other side of the break, we'll talk about these generalities I was talking about before. You're watching Catholic Life, Ordinary People with Extraordinary Faith, and we're talking to Amy LeJeune, and it's the, not the Family Village.
It's the Family Village.
The Family Village. Why do I have this? I have a disconnect. It's because we said Foster Village so many times last time. It's like going, so now we're talking about Family Village, and the information is on the screen. Stay with us. We'll be right back after a break.
Hey, I'm Father Joshua Johnson. I am the Vocation Director for the Diocese of Baton Rouge. God our Father created each and every single one of us, you and I, for no other reason than because God desires for us to become saints. That is our primary vocation, to become a saint forever in the kingdom of heaven for all eternity with God. But for some of us, our path to becoming a saint is going to be through the state of life vocation of the priesthood of Jesus Christ. If you believe that God might be calling you, if you have a thought, hey, look, God might be inviting me to discern the priesthood of Jesus Christ as my path to becoming a saint, to help other people become saints in their walk toward eternity, then I want to invite you to reach out to me at our office vocations here at the Diocese of Baton Rouge so that we can walk with each other. I can accompany you in your discernment and your prayer and learning more about the gift of the priesthood of Jesus Christ so that you can discern, is God inviting you to walk toward eternity as a priest of Jesus Christ?
Welcome back to Catholic Life, ordinary people with extraordinary faith. Thank you for staying through the break. I'm Deacon Jodi Moscona, and we're talking to Amy LeJeune of the Family Village, and used to be the Foster Village, and don't get confused like me. Anyway, it's great that you're here to talk about fostering in general. What I wanted to talk about before the break, we didn't have enough time, was there are probably people now saying, "Ooh, I've thought about that before. Maybe I can do that." Mm-hmm. What is a person or a family that is in the situation that you were in when you moved here, no kids, big house? Maybe I want to foster.
Well, you're definitely needed if that's on someone's mind and they're discerning that at the moment. It's something to look into. It's life-changing, being able to be a part of a child's life and a family's life. So for us, we went through, I think it was 7 classes, and those classes prepare you for parenting a child that's been through trauma and being able to understand the different stages of the agency, so fostering, kinship, different things like that. So after those classes, you have to pass a background check. You do a home study. The state wants to come out and make sure that your home is safe for children. What a lot of people don't know is you can actually set your own criteria of what type of children that you'll accept.
Oh, that's nice.
So a worry that I hear from people a lot is, I don't know if I'll be able to handle a child that's medically fragile. Well, you don't have to. If you don't feel prepared for that, then you can tell the agency, you can tell the state that, I'm not comfortable with that. And they'll kind of educate you on different scenarios of different types of children that will come into care, and you can tell them what you think you would be the most prepared for and be able to accommodate for.
So if you're out there and you're thinking about this whole fostering idea, you're definitely needed, and the state is where you go to get the training and approved and background checked and all that kind of stuff, and we'll get that number and put it on the screen also.
And you can actually look on the Department of Children and Family Services website, and they have a description of exactly what I explained, the classes. Okay. So if you're in a different parish or different town, you can actually look for the classes on there, right, to be able to find. Yeah,
because we have a lot of different parishes that we part of the diocese that get these shows. That's great. So once somebody goes through the classes, and this is what stuck with me the most last time, was once somebody goes through the classes and they get the background check and they're queued up to get a child at some point, they don't know when it's going to happen, and it can happen very quickly.
Yes.
And because they don't know who it is or what age it is or what it's going to be, they really don't know what they need. So all of a sudden, they're on their heels because they have a child and they need to take care of the child. And that's where y'all kind of help?
Yeah, for us, we got an email saying, congratulations, you're a foster parent in the state of Louisiana. And an hour later, we got a call for a 4-year-old little boy and a 3-month-old little girl. So a little bit of excitement, a little bit of nervousness.
So you got approved in the same day? Wow.
Unfortunately, there's more children than there are foster homes. And
right. So they're waiting for the people to get approved.
Yeah. So we took in those 2 children. We were actually on our way to New Orleans that day. So we're like, okay, well, when we get back from New Orleans. So they came, and it was just an immediate roller coaster ride. The things that you learn in class, you're like, okay, wait, there's something in there that I'm supposed to be doing, and there's something I'm supposed to remember. But when you're in the middle of trying to console a child, when you're in the middle of trying to bond with them, when you're in the middle of trying to figure out, what are your favorite foods? Do I have those foods?
Right.
It kind of, it really helps to have that support from your neighbors saying, you can do this, and we're there for you, and we're going to help if there's anything you need. So that's kind of where the Family Village came from. I had neighbors that did just that. They brought over their bibs and bassinets and whatever they had from their children, and it was a huge relief, explaining to me how to get through acid reflux with a 3-month-old. So now the Family Village, see, I got it.
I feel better.
So the Family Village, hey, there we go. We'll just go with TFE, the Family Village.
Okay.
Okay, so now the Family Village is that to foster parents, kinship, any child that's been through a traumatic event of loss. We're there to be able to say, hey, do you need clothes? Do you need food? Do you need someone just to talk to? Because chances are there's another foster parent that's been through the same thing, or even just another community partner that has been through the same thing.
So you're located in Livingston.
Yes, we're located in Walker.
But you don't just serve Livingston, is that
No.
right?
We serve whoever can get to us. Of course, our focus is Livingston because there are so many children, but we've had people from Baton Rouge, Gonzales, just anywhere and everywhere. We've also had people contact us asking if there are other organizations like us. So if they're in Lafayette or Alexandria, there are other organizations like us that we can direct them to as well.
That's great. That's great. What a great resource y'all have become for the whole foster network of families and children and people that want to support them and so on and so forth. So we already talked to the people that are being tugged at the heartstring to become foster, but if you're not being tugged that way, you can help because there are things that people can do by donating, like you said, gently used items or funds. I would take it, y'all have to buy a lot of stuff too.
Yeah. The thing that we buy the most are beds. There's always a need for beds and mattresses and bedding. So funds normally go to something like that, also to keep the lights on.
Okay.
And then, of course, the items. But now, in this time of the pandemic, a lot of people are staying home. And so we even have projects where we can send home with people or ask people to do from home, such as the birthday boxes. So yes, anyone that wants to get involved, we're definitely a bridge to be able to find out where they could fit the best and be able to help the most.
And in a technology age, when a lot of what goes on in the world is sharing information, and it can be done online, it can be, a lot of different ways, that it's got to be an avenue for people to communicate with you and find out what you need and offer what they need and stuff like that.
We update our Facebook pretty regularly. Also, we have people call and we're able to kind of talk to them, but I go out to churches and other organizations. We do lunch and learn sometimes as well. So with COVID, Zoom and all the other avenues we can take is also an opportunity. So if anyone is not being called to be a foster parent and maybe they just want to help get the word about, kind of like what you have mentioned from the last time, you didn't know about these children that kind of live in the shadows in foster care. And then by just having a conversation, you were able to learn about it, and so do something about it.
Yeah, there's a misconception that even I had before I met you, was that there are a lot of people that want to be foster parents because of the stipend that the state sends, and they're trying to make money off of it. And while there may be some people like that, who knows? That's really not what this is all about. I mean, that's not why people do it, because it's not a moneymaker. It's a service opportunity for people.
I guarantee I spend more money on my kids than I do get for them.
Right.
So it is a help to get a stipend from the state, but you really have to do it from your heart and be in it no matter what.
Right.
And be committed.
Right, because you're raising the kids, but you've adopted two of them, so they're...
I've adopted a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old
That's awesome.
at the end of next year, so we're coming up on our year anniversary.
Great.
And then still fostering a 2-year-old. And now that we're in a bigger house, we're planning on continuing to foster next year.
Well, that is great. That is good stuff. So if you're out there watching, there's all sorts of ways that you can participate in the whole thing. Where you should start is by going to the website and the Facebook page. You have a Facebook page because then you can see comments and
see what we're about.
See what you're all about, because that's certainly exploded during this COVID time. Tell us a little bit about the Facebook page, how they find it, because is it going to be TFV?
Yes,
okay.
TFV Walker.
TFV
That's
Walker.
how you find us.
Okay.
We recently got an Angel Award, or we were nominated by Representative Garrett Graves.
Oh, Garrett is great.
We got to meet him. He's a very down-to-earth
He's a nice guy, isn't he?
He came and toured our facilities. He graciously nominated us for this award. There were, I think, 96 honorees out of the U.S. Louisiana had one organization, one family, and one individual, and we were fortunate enough to be the organization. So
that is great. So what's it called?
The Angel Award.
Angel Award. That's right. So I had forgotten about that. I was told before we started the show to make sure I mentioned it, and they're behind the camera trying to remind me. That's good, though. That's an attaboy, but that gives you, not that you're after it for recognition, but what it does, it also gives you credibility, you know, to go forward and do what you do.
I think it came at the best time because during the pandemic, we're not able to see those children face to face as much as we would like to. So it's more putting a bag together, putting it on the porch with their name on it, and then they come and get it. So getting that award kind of gave us that just to go, okay, let's keep on going, let's do more, let's be more creative until we kind of get past these times.
Yeah, everybody's struggling with the COVID issues, but we don't realize how it affects different people in different ways. You know, this is a situation where, just what you said, we used to have a birthday party for a foster kid and have the other foster kids come and have 25 people there, and now you can't do that because of COVID. It changes the perspective, and it also changes what you need to focus on to be able to do to take care of the kids and the families, support the families.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten down to the necessities.
Right, and that's a good way to put it. These organizations are about providing necessities. It's not the fluff. And so to the extent that you can help, like I'll give you an example. What if you have a baby bed that you've taken apart and put in your attic, and it's just sitting there waiting for one day when you might have a grandkid? Well, how about giving it to a foster kid? You know, anything like that. Those are the kind of things you can do. Be creative in ways that you can help others. And I think that's what we would like to get to everybody. You got any last minute pitch you want to do? We got about a minute left.
I think with the bed, we're in a kind of reuse, recycle type of society these days, or at least I am, I guess. What is important to think about too is after donating that bed, it's not going to just help one child. We've had a toddler bed that will come, and it's been to 5 different children. So the foster village is a place where you can help multiple families and multiple children, because after they're done with it, they're going to outgrow it, and it's going to come back to us, and then it'll go on to another family.
I love that. That is great. That's paying it forward.
Yeah, it's all made possible by the community. We couldn't have gotten this far without the community. And we're excited to see how everything's going to grow. And then with National Adoption Month as well, we're excited to be able to educate the community on those options through foster care as well.
Fantastic. Well, you are the community, and we depend on you, they depend on you, and we just hope that you respond and go to the website, and if you have to call, I'm sure the phone number's up there too. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
You've been watching Catholic Life, Ordinary People with Extraordinary Faith. I want to thank you for watching. Until next time, God bless everyone.